Hello, welcome back to Family Talk here with Becca Toups. I am beyond thrilled to be here. Thank you for everybody who's joining in, jumping on. Hi there. Hi everybody. We have an incredibly special guest joining us here today. This is Michelle Schroff. In the flesh. in real life, we have her. We sanitized everything down. We've cleaned. We're being really careful, even though we have a little bit less than 6 feet between us. But I'm just really honored and thrilled that she's taken the time to join us here to speak with me about her experience as a mother, her experience with her family, and then going through this really difficult time, and what that looks like for her. A lot of you probably are familiar with her because she's certainly, and her family is certainly a staple around this church, and you see them volunteering, serving, giving their time in a lot of capacities. But Michelle, I'm going to let you introduce yourself to me and to all of our viewers and everybody who's hopping on right now, and tell me first of all and foremost about your role as a mother, your journey as a mother.
Wow. It's been a long journey. We have quite a large family of 10 kids, and me and my husband have been married for about 25 years, and it's been
25 years, people. She's flawless, first of all, and she smiles like this. That's why she looks so good.
You're so sweet. You're precious. I'll pay you later. But the reality is, we started our journey pretty wild, and we've continued to be wild with fostering and adopting kids, and now we're grandparents and we're parenting kids that are close in age to our grandkids. We have our youngest at 7, and he is an uncle to 4 little kids, and that's a new dynamic that we're facing right now, which is a lot of fun.
But did you give us the grand total, though, of how many actual children you have?
Yes, we have 10.
10 children.
10. 24 years old is our oldest, and she has 3 kiddos. And then we have a 22-year-old that has a kiddo. And so we have a total of 3 kids that are married, and it's really neat, that new dynamic of son-in-laws and grandkids, and I look forward to more grandkids, let's just say. Much easier than parenting, I'm going to throw out there.
Yeah, can we get an amen from the grandparents in the audience right now?
Yes, those grandkids are so much more enjoyable. And I don't want to say because you can give them back. It's really, I don't feel so responsible.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
That's it, yeah.
It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. So, yeah. Guys, the prize is definitely the grandkids. And I can't wait for great grandkids. I don't know. We might not remember even parenting by then.
You'll definitely. But I think we got sidetracked because you were going down the line and we stopped.
Yes.
So you have more children to talk about.
Yes. We have Sierra, Skylar. She just got married in June. They're coming up on a year anniversary. And 2 of those son-in-laws are actually pastors here at Calvary at Spectrum. Mm-hmm. And we have a son that just came back from missionary work, Moses, from Africa. He was in Africa and he went to India and Japan. So I would say that we got a lot of kids that love ministry. They love the Lord. And then our younger kids, and then our daughter Sailor, because I know she's going to go, you left off on me.
Middle child, no,
yeah.
You're important and you're loved, Sailor.
Number 5, we love you. But she also just came back from Youth with a Mission, and she did a tour in Europe. And now she's back home and kind of like, okay, I'm home and I can't do anything. She got to travel the world, and now she's stuck in her house with her 5 little siblings. I said, you can babysit.
Oh, yeah.
You can
absolutely.
babysit, even though me and Dad don't have anywhere to go.
Still, I mean, even if it's a walk around to the park and come back.
This is true.
We did do that. To help. It's preparing them for their life so that they can, in turn, grow and have their own families.
That's right.
I can
being
speak to
selfless.
That. Yeah.
Being selfless. And then we have 5 little ones, and 13 to 7 years old. And those kiddos are the ones that were, my older kids accuse me of being grandparents too, that we're in grandparent mode. Because we're not so strict with them as we were with the 5 older kids. So
right.
Talk to me in, I don't know, 10 more years.
Yeah, revisit that again for sure. But these younger children are adopted, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we adopted our younger kids from CYFD custody, yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's fantastic.
Yeah, they're amazing kids.
Well, what I love is that it would have been probably easy to be like, okay, I'm done. I raised my children. There you go. Leave and cleave. Go on. But no, like your heart is so big, yours and your husband's heart, and just wanting to just bring those children in and give them a godly family and love them and show them that they're loved is just so special. And I just love that. And I'm inspired by it.
Yeah, it's really cool how God works, because when I was younger, when I was 19, I was told I could not have children. So in my mind, my plan was always to foster and adopt kids. So this wasn't like, oh, I'm such a great person.
But
I just like to do things that I say I'm going to do. I'm just kidding.
Follow through is also good.
That's right. But for me, it was something that always was just on the backside of my mind when we started having children. And it was something that I had discussed with my husband when we had gotten married. It was, hey, so what does our family look like? And he agreed. He wanted to adopt. He wanted to foster kids. Actually, when we met, he was a big brother to a young man that was in custody. And so for me, I'm like, this is the guy.
Big family.
Poor guy.
Yeah, no, it's wonderful.
Both of us, though, I have an older brother. He has a younger sister. That's it. We don't come from large families. So we definitely were doing new stuff. We don't come from a family that even aunts and uncles, everyone's, 2-kid families.
Two.
Yeah. So to call your mom and say, hey, we're going to have another baby. The third in 3 years.
And another one. And another one.
And we're fostering again. Now we have 12 kids in our house. It was interesting, and our family was very patient with us.
I love it. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, I come from a big family
Yes.
myself, and then I have a relatively large family now as an adult, and a lot of people are kind of questioning you or give you the look like, are you crazy? Even
Right.
Nate the first week was saying, that sounds like my nightmare. But it's funny because you would think like, oh, I wouldn't, how do you have love in your heart for this many children or time or attention? But it's just there. And it
Right.
just, as the family grows, your love grows as well.
That's so true. When we had our first child, she was 10 months when we got pregnant with our second child. And I'll never forget questioning, like, how am I going to love this second child as much as the first? And I'd spoken with someone, and they said, Michelle, love doesn't divide, it multiplies.
Yep.
And that for me was...
That's good. Write that down. Write that down.
Right?
Yeah.
So that for the last 23 years is something that I just keep going, and it's not a matter of did I birth the child or not, or when you realize that there is a need for families, and you realize that we have a family and it's okay. We're not the best family in the world, but we're fun.
Have a good
we
time.
do fun stuff. Yeah. They
Yeah.
have a bed and some food, and we teach them about the
Taken
Lord.
care of and loved. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
We never felt like we needed to be perfect, or and we mess up. We apologize a lot to our kids. A lot.
So important.
And when we got involved with fostering, we talked to our older kids. We said, hey, what do you guys think about this? And they were the greatest advocates. All of them, there were times when they were like, so how long are y'all planning on doing this for? Did we actually sign a contract? And we would have to remind them, but there were more times that they had to remind us
Sure.
why we were doing what we were doing.
Well, I mean, there are times this week when you ask one of my children, they would like to return one of my other children, and we didn't adopt anybody. You know what I mean?
So
the sibling conflict, it doesn't know any boundaries.
That's
it doesn't know
right.
bloodlines.
No.
There's fighting and arguing.
That's
and,
right.
But at
That's
the end
right.
of the day, we all certainly love each other.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. And when I talked to actually this morning, I just talked with one of my kiddos, and we discussed that. We were like, we don't ever expect you to be perfect. We expect you to own when you do make mistakes and make it right. That's it. And that's what the gospel is about. We own it. We say, yes, I did it. Forgive me. I'm going to repent. I'm going to turn from it, and I'm going to submit to that. And it's so neat to see the kids, even with each other. And I always tell my husband, hey, we're raising them to be adults. We're not trying to perfect children.
Yeah.
Because you can't perfect adults even,
That's good.
So for us, it's really about what are they going
Hold
to
on, I'm going to
go
write all
on
these
and do?
things down. Just kidding. This is just so good. It's pearls of wisdom, and I just
You're
love
sweet.
just being able to take that from you, somebody who's, a little bit further down the road, and hear that wisdom. And would you say that's kind of like your family mantra, like yours and Clay's with raising
I
your
would
children?
say our family mantra is love God and love others. Because we like to boil things down to the bare minimum, and that's what it boils down to.
Yeah.
If it means that I have to allow someone to go in front of me because it shows that I love God and I love the person that I'm allowing to go in front of me, then that's what I'm going to do. And in our home, because there are a lot of us, there's a lot of dying to self. There really is. My kids don't get iPhones. And that sounds horrible, doesn't it?
Yeah.
They have to die to themselves. They don't
I had
get
to
the
save
iPhone
my
10.
allowance to get a pager, so I don't feel so bad when they're crying if they don't
That's
have a
right.
newer iPhone than I have.
That's
They're
right.
fine. Yeah.
That's right. So we had to make decisions that if we were going to have a large family,
We got high fives from Skylar, one of your girls over here. Amen, preach. Yeah.
yeah, she had to buy her own iPhone.
Yeah, girl.
Sorry, Sky. But it's true. We we're not rolling in the dough, but we can still be a loving family without having to get them all of the, extras. And, Easter was interesting this year. My husband's on furlough because
Sure.
of everything that's going
Yeah.
on. And so, I definitely like him home more than I like the cash right now. I really enjoy having him home, and we're looking at what the future is going to look like, with COVID happening and him going back to work. And I'm like, gosh, can't you just retire now? Which is not the plan, but
Right? Well, that's encouraging to hear, because I think there's a lot of spouses that are kind of feeling the opposite. Like, when are you going to go back to work? I need my space. But
right.
the fact that you're enjoying that time with your
I
husband.
am. We're being around each other this much, though. I'm sure he's probably like, oh my gosh, I didn't know she complained so much. But we are coming together. We are getting, throwing out a lot of trash. Like, absolutely, we are doing that, but we are doing that.
Wait, no, emotional trash.
Emotional trash,
physical
and
trash.
we did clean out our garage, which
Amen.
there is a dumpster in my driveway.
It's on the list.
right
I know. Okay.
now. Oh yeah, girl. So we do. We're doing that in our relationship and talking a lot, and what other time are we going to all be in a room together?
Yeah.
For this amount of time, 2 weeks max.
To work through. Yeah, no, maybe on an extended vacation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So this time we've been able to redeem and go, okay, what are some things or some areas in our life and in our kids' lives that we're going to work on? So, and it's hard. It is. It's hard.
Not fun to pull those weeds, right? No.
Man. And for me, I think in instructing the kids, it's like, hey guys, this is a great time to figure out where does the Lord, want to refine things in us. And it's going to be hard and stinky and awful, but we're all together. We can all help each other. We can all walk with each other and try to understand each other more.
Something I said last week that I had heard on a podcast was that we can't be Jesus to our children, but we can show our children
right.
us needing Jesus.
That's
and
so
that's what that
true.
looks like.
That's
is
so
more
true.
important than us being perfect and having it all together, because eventually as a parent we're going to fall off that pedestal to our children. Usually it's around the teenage years, preteen years is when you get knocked off that pedestal.
Right.
But if you're real with them about your shortcomings and about how hard it is and your struggles, then
right.
it's so much more, the gospel comes to life for them that much more
right.
realistically.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's so important. And apologizing to your kids and letting them know when you mess up. Hey, I messed up. Forgive me. I'm going to try harder. And then I think it makes it easier for them to be able to come to you and say, I messed up. Please forgive me. Because I think at least in my generation, I mean, I was born in the 70s, and,
I was too. Tail end.
at the end, mine was more, closer to the beginning,
You
I
wouldn't
guess.
know by the skin. Look at this.
You're
I'm
hilarious.
a skincare professional, I know.
I'm coming back every day now. But for me, in my home, it was very much do as I say, not as I do. It was, if I said it, you have to do it. So, growing up and having kids, and I'm like, that wasn't, I didn't really feel heard. And that was just how they did it. I had great parents. My mom and dad were great parents. But now my mom goes, wow, I really like how you apologize to the kids. And she apologizes to me now. She'll say, I want to ask for forgiveness. And I'm like, what?
That's so special. That's wonderful.
It is.
Yeah.
To be in your 70s and be able to say, and that's a good thing.
To make changes, yeah.
Yeah.
So, Michelle, how would you say how would you describe your parenting style, or how would your kids tell you are as a mom? What kind of a mom are you?
I have asked my kids this question, and my kids would say that I'm everywhere. I'm all over the place. But today,
Isn't that the truth, though?
I would
Have a sip of
probably
coffee
say
with
I'm
that.
a flexible scheduler. Like right now at this place in my life, things need to be scheduled, but I'm flexible. I'm like, oh, okay, well, let's put that on the back burner and let's go have some fun. So I try to do both because I can be a slave to the schedule,
Yeah, absolutely.
and I can be helicopter mom, which now that Clay's home, he's taken over the helicopter status.
Helicopter parenting, interesting. So what does that look like? Because you homeschool how many children on a day-to-day basis before
Five.
COVID? Five children.
5, yes.
But hold on.
5 kids.
I'm
First
just gonna
grade
catch my breath.
to 7th grade,
Okay.
right?
So
Yeah,
we're
well, but not
definitely-
full time. Not
Okay.
full time. My kids go to a classical school, so they go to school Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then Tuesday, Thursday, I homeschool them.
Homeschool.
Now, my older kids, all homeschooled,
the whole
ride.
stretch.
Yes, college was their first day of school. But
Wow.
with these guys, we made a decision to do this part time, and we love it. We absolutely love it. Now, going back to homeschooling 5 kids 5 days a week has been a challenge because I fall into the slave to the schedule because I'm like, I've got to have this done for someone else. If it's just me, I'm like, we're good. Come on.
There's no hurry. We're
Let's
fine.
go to Menchie's.
A little more craft time.
That's right.
That's what all else fails. We're gonna do more crafts.
That's right. Want to paint?
Honestly, it's like therapeutic, and it's
It
yeah,
is.
no.
It is.
Craft
And they
time,
love
art
it.
time has definitely been kind of my go-to for sure. The kids love it.
Yes,
And then
yes.
what I do too is I'll put on like an audiobook or something like
Mm-hmm.
that while they're working through craft time, and then it's like, okay, so we're killing 2 birds with 1 stone,
Yes.
and hopefully nobody's fighting.
That's right. That's the kicker.
So, what have been you kind of touched on it just now, but your transitions from regular homeschool and that you had, other activities, your kids would go out,
Right.
they were at the schooling, and now they're home 5 days a week. What have been your personal kind of transitions?
Well, I think the most difficult thing has been for the older kids because they have to wait a lot. They have to wait while I'm working with younger kids, and it creates a lot of tension in the home. So we've been literally writing down a schedule. And the way that we do homeschool is they do history, science, and literature together. So all of them, they're all doing the same thing together. And then I try to focus individually on each kid. And that's been a huge transition right now.
Yeah.
5 days a week. 2 days a week, it was manageable, but 5 days a week, that's been a big transition. And we take a lot of breaks, a lot of, okay, you got finished with that second subject, go get a snack, or, go do burpees, or especially
Run
if
around
they're
the backyard,
antsy.
whatever,
Yes,
yeah,
if
yeah.
they're antsy. And before I wasn't that flexible, before I was like, let's go, let's get this, come on, daylight's burning. Now it's like, okay, we're doing school till 8 o'clock at night, literally.
Yes. Yeah.
Right?
Literally. Doing my best. But it's encouraging to hear somebody else who having multiple kids and homeschooling multiple kids, different age ranges, and kind of having to work on different things. That's really challenging. And
It
getting
is.
tips and tricks and sending them outside to kind of transition so you could work with one.
Right.
And kind of having them work at different paces too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, and I think also the other issue with the transitioning is the Zoom videos. The first week,
All the
our
calls?
internet was gone.
Oh, no.
So my kids were doing school till 11 o'clock at night because I just had my phone because I have data. Poor things. And they were such troopers. And I had such a bad attitude. I was like, ah! And I keep track of how long I'm on my phone. And by the end of the day, I'm like, it says 8 hours. 8 hours.
of phone. But that's real like learning time for sure.
Exactly.
No, this last week I had to set my 10-year-old daughter up on her first kind of classroom meetup because they're getting started. APS is starting their official distance learning this week. And poor thing, she was like getting so frustrated because all she wanted to do was see and talk to her class, and she could hear them, but she couldn't see them, and they couldn't see her because I couldn't get the right something plug-in loaded, and the something knocked so she could raise her hand, and all these things. And I was like, I'm sorry, I'm not like a tech support person.
Right.
I'm trying to do this.
Next week, tell her next week will be so
It'll
good.
be so much better.
So much better.
Yeah.
And what frustrates my little ones is that they silence the kids so that they can
They can't talk. Yes.
And I see my little kids just like, Mom, they're not answering me.
They won't. But if not, you just hear them just on there. Just they're so excited to talk to each other and have kind of socialization. They're saying the craziest stuff.
And my kids love their teachers. Love. Which I'm so thankful for, but it's very difficult, them not being with their teachers and the other students. Their teachers pour so much into my kids, and it shows. And this past week, you could tell that my kids were like, okay, do I have another Zoom video today? Like, they were excited to do another Zoom video.
Can I get away from mom for a second?
Can someone else teach me?
Let's also just, another huge thank you goes out to educators and how much you really are the backbone of this country and how appreciated you are and how much you pour into our children. That is something that I know we appreciate already, but it has been amplified 10,000 times now that we have been asked to do this on our own.
They earn every penny they get.
And need raises across the board for sure.
Right.
And it'll be interesting to see what happens in this country after everyone has been
No.
forced to look at.
I will vote whatever it takes.
The day-to-day of a teacher, yeah. So, jumping around a little bit away from the homeschooling piece, because that's giving me like heart palpitations just talking about it right here. You and your husband, your family, are involved on a lot of levels in a lot of nonprofits. Can you just give me the rundown? Because if I started...
Well, it's funny because Clay and I both, we both have a heart for invisible people, folks that are overlooked, folks that are not in the forefront. So all of our nonprofits have to do with children and folks that really and truly incarcerated, poverty. So for us, whatever has to do with a child in that situation. So we have Zoe that reaches out to youth, to girls. We help clothe them. We provide workshops. We do a prom every year for kids, and the kids don't have to be in school. So this year, our plan is once everything is lifted, that we want to provide a prom that is 100% donation basis. Any kid can come, and every year any kid can come. But we want to be able to celebrate these kids that really and truly have not felt celebrated in their entire lives. So we try to do that with Zoe. We do that with Aspen. We go out with the sheriff's department. We go to homes where children are on the radar for child abuse and neglect, and we go in and try and help those families to maintain that unity as a family, even if it's just a thread that they're hanging on to. So we go in and provide food and clothing and parenting classes, and that's another. We have Albuquerque Parent University. We do parenting classes, and it has been such a blessing to watch families grow and love learning. So, and what that has done is it's really opened our eyes to say, you know, if we could just come alongside of one family and help mentor or, you know, bring a meal or just find out what's going on in their life, because I think that's where a lot of folks fall by the wayside, is they're afraid. They're afraid they're going to lose their kids because maybe they've come out of foster care. And this is the population that we're working with right now. So they don't say anything. They don't say that they have needs. And when the quarantine or the social distancing happened, we realized that there were families that were going to be silent because they were afraid of losing their children again, or, you know, the stress levels would be so much. And we thought, gosh, they need someone to walk with, whether it be food or whether it just be a phone call. So we call and check on the families that we've already had contact with and bring food or whatever they need. If they just want to talk, sometimes the kids want to just talk to us. We had one kid before everything had happened, and the older sister of this young man, when we first went to the house, he gave Clay a really hard time, like, you know, just razzing him and making fun of him. And my husband's a jokester, and the little boy really connected with him. But the sister texted my husband and took a picture of her refrigerator and said, "We don't have any food, and my little brother told me to call you." So it was, you know, one meeting, one time we go to their house, and this child knows I can call this man and he's going to help us. So, you know, for us, we want to really encourage folks, you know, if you want to get involved or you want to help people that are vulnerable during this time, you know, please contact us. We could sure use some help in delivering food. We could also use some help in just gathering more food and diapers and wipes and formula, because those younger kids, they're not going to school, and if home life is stressful, they're not able to talk to anyone and say what's going on in their home. So
So how can people, one, if they want to get involved, or
Yes.
two, maybe if this is speaking to somebody and they
Right.
know someone kind of in this situation, how can they
Yes.
reach out to? That's Recover New Mexico is what
Yes,
you're...
Recover New Mexico. That's what we just started because of the current pandemic. And you can go on Aspen, our Facebook. You can go on our website, aspenproject.org, or zoe.boutique.
And Zoe, Z-O-E.
Yes,
dot
boutique. And just go on. You can give us a call. DM us. You can not miss us.
Yeah, I know I saw Clay was live waiting, kind of hanging out
Yes.
at the boutique waiting for
Yes.
donations and people dropping things by.
That's
Okay.
right.
Okay.
And then what we do is once we get all the donations in, we contact all the families and find out what they need, and we go through the donations and deliver those things to those families.
That's wonderful. Thank you
It's
so
a lot of
much for
fun.
everything you guys are doing. And I love that you're leading your children, not just by telling them what Christ's love looks like, but by showing them too. And they're seeing that in the day-to-day and like what you're dedicating your time and your efforts and your resources to.
Well, I hope that's the case,
No,
because
it's true.
obviously they do
true.
live with me. They see a lot more than y'all do.
Well, and it's also a testament your grown children, how they've grown up and left the nest and what they've chosen to do with their lives and what wonderful human beings they've turned out to be. And also a
They're pretty
testament to homeschooling, because they're all actually pretty cool people and really well grounded.
Yeah, they're not socially awkward, huh?
Not at all. Wonderful. So it really, I mean, I feel like actions do speak volumes, and your children are there. They're seeing you at home and what you're using your time for. Your time is really your biggest currency.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. That's so true. The gifts and we were joking about phones, but even so, anything that keeps, puts a stumbling block in our family, we try to remove it, and we try to just say, hey, this time is ours, and let's redeem it, and let's make sure that we're helping others while we pour into this family. And it's so neat to see the kids see needs. The other day it was really cool. Do we have time for a quick little story?
Go.
She's
Give
like,
us the
run,
story.
girl. But my 7-year-old, his class, they put together, they're called, I think they're helping the homeless, or Homeless Hope, or they're little packets that they make for the homeless. They had like a service week at school. Amazing school. But my 7-year-old, every time he would see someone, he would like unbuckle and grab stuff and throwing it out the window. And I'm like, buddy, you need to stay seated and buckled. And so
Throwing granola bars.
he was. Yeah. It was crazy, but he was just so excited. And he has such a heart for the homeless. And then we go into Target, and there's this gentleman that we always see in the Target parking lot. He cleans windows, and he was in front of us. Someone had given him a Target or a Starbucks gift card, and he was getting a Starbucks drink. And my son, we were behind talking, and I could, because I'm a mom, I can hear what's going on here and have a conversation. And they were telling him that he only had $1.24 left on the card. He had already gotten something. And he's like, oh, that's okay. And he turned around to my son and gave my 7-year-old son a Starbucks gift card for $1.24. And my son was like, no. And I told him, I said, take it, thank him, and let's go. And afterward, I told him, I go, isn't it so neat that he has so little and he wanted to give you something? So don't ever think that your gift is too small to give to someone. It was such a great teaching opportunity for my son. And my son, he still has the card. He hasn't spent it.
Oh,
it's
but he
been
just loves
a
it.
month
Yeah.
and a half.
And he'll remember that forever.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I mean, sometimes, like, and especially in a big family, you're not going to get as much across in like sit down family, fold your hands devotions while
That's
I teach
so
you this.
true.
But practical teaching and like using those teaching moments to speak to your kids and teach truth and teach love and teach them what Christ's love
That's
looks like
right.
too. Yeah.
Well, and talk about a divine moment. That was Jesus, 100%. I didn't have to fabricate anything or pull something out of my hat because
Yeah.
they were being naughty.
Right. Legit.
Because I never do that.
So Audra wants to know, she'd like to give up, she has some clothes to donate. How can she do that?
She can send them to us if she's
Mail them.
local.
I don't think she's local, but if you're
Okay.
local, you can.
Yeah, if you're local, you can just swing by and drop off between 9:30 and 12 o'clock, Monday through Friday, or Saturday actually, Monday through Saturday. So yeah.
But then also mailing, go to the website.
Yes.
If you needed to mail, then
There's
you
the
can
address.
certainly also mail to the address on the Zoe website.
Yes.
So there you go. And she says, you can't get anything at Starbucks for $1.24, but the lesson was priceless.
That's so true.
It's true. Amen. Wonderful. Well, speaking of COVID and all of this craziness before, when we used to actually go and stand in stores, oh my God, I just miss it so much.
Close.
Yeah. How have you spoken to your kids about COVID and the COVID crisis on an age-appropriate level from kind of older? Because I know you're at home, 14, is your kind of oldest. Okay.
We do a lot. Like my younger kiddos, they talk about it, but it's, sadly, it's kind of joking.
Abstract, kind of, yeah.
Which I think is part of processing. We do a lot of research together. We'll talk about and say, hey, this is what it really looks like, how you're affected by it. And then we balance that out. So it's very much fact and faith. This is what is going on. This is scientifically what it is. And then as far as our faith is concerned, we still should live out our faith. We still should help others in this time. Even if we feel like our lives could be in danger, we can still step out and do that safely.
I love it.
So
fact and faith, the balance there for sure.
Yeah.
And then kind of taking it through with them. Oh my gosh, I just love you, Michelle. I'm just so happy you're here.
Too.
We're having so much fun. Let's see if there's any more questions. Yep, Audra's in Georgia. I thought so. So yeah, you can just mail that, Audra. Tips for homeschooling kids during this time.
Be flexible and grace upon grace.
Yeah, for your kids and for yourself, right?
For me. Sorry.
Basically, she just wants grace. I'm sure your kids are at home watching this. Just give your mama some grace.
Give your mama some grace, because for me, they feed totally off of me. I want to say it was actually our first week. Getting everything together, and so stressful. And then having to send all the work in, and literally sitting down, and I'm going to be honest, sliding glass door was open. I have all the papers out. Wind starts blowing, blows everything all over the place. Literally 30 seconds later, my husband puts his foot on the coffee table, flips it over with a cup of coffee onto all of the schoolwork.
Trials, yeah.
Literally, the first week, and I'm like, oh my gosh. Well, and in my mind, I really had to look at my heart in that situation. What was I doing? Well, I was terrified that I wasn't going to meet the deadline. I was terrified that I wasn't going to impress the teachers with my work and teaching the kids at home, and I was going to be critiqued. And it was just so crazy, because that weekend after, I really had to do some self-evaluation and go, why did that get so blown up, and why did things have to happen that way, and why were the kids so difficult? Well, I was difficult. I was begrudgingly doing things.
Preaching good in here.
I was begrudgingly doing things, and the kids were feeding it. And what I noticed that week too is my kids kept apologizing, and I'm like, why are they apologizing? Well, they were apologizing because they felt like they were burdening me. I'm sorry, Mom, that happened, and I'm sorry, Mom. And I'm like, no, you don't need to be sorry. I need to be sorry for my attitude. So the second week was so much better. It was like, hey, we're going to wing this the best that we can, and we're all in this together.
Yep.
And whatever doesn't get completed, I'll just message your teacher. I'll totally blame you. No, I'm just kidding.
No, but I think that's so important. Just one, taking the pressure off. That's kind of
right.
that first week this all hit, and realized APS was canceled for the rest of the year and everything. And I have
oh, your stories were so good in the bathroom.
I had to lock myself in the bathroom so I could hyperventilate.
I love it.
But really, to what you were saying, that was my fear of my failure. I'm not good enough, and it's okay. It's okay. I can take that off of myself. Sit down, work through this with my kids, and as soon as you kind of take that pressure element off,
and get over it. It's not about you.
Yeah, get over yourself.
Get over yourself. And being a mom, that's a huge thing. Because if our kids don't act a certain way, or look a certain way, or behave a certain way in a restaurant, or we so take it personal, and it's not about us.
No.
I mean, God is working in their lives. I don't care if they're 2 or 22. He's doing something, and we need to allow things when they happen. What are we going to do with it?
That's so good. This is a sidebar. Michelle's so humble she didn't mention this. She was a New Mexico Mother of the Year nominated, and she went out to Washington, D.C. and represented the state of New Mexico on behalf of us. So these are pearls of wisdom. I'm not going to say that. Write this down. Write this down. It's not about you. It's okay. Let go of that.
It's not.
Yeah.
It isn't. And parenting it's just not. And we often think of, our marriage, we gotta die to ourselves. With your kids, you need to do the same.
Yeah.
You have to just say, this isn't that important, and what's important is my child. who they are and not ripping them down, not making them feel less than because they failed. I'm sorry.
Or you're frustrated.
When I was 8, I didn't have it together. I'm 48. I don't have it together.
Still don't have it together. 100%.
Still waiting.
Oh, it's so good. No, it was Thursday. My two that just are always at each other's throats, they went for it, and it was a knockdown drag out.
Oh, I love
And instead of me handling it coolly, I lost my temper, sent them both to their beds, and I just had to go outside and just like take a breath and pray and breathe and read a little bit.
Right.
And then we kind of refocused. Of course, they apologized because they felt so bad. They had set me off. And then, yeah.
That's so nice. Have them talk to my kids.
Yeah, well.
When I get set off, my kids are like, oh my gosh.
No, I mean, not after. I think they were a little afraid of me because I got set off. I had to repent afterwards.
Right?
It was definitely in the flesh a little bit
so
there.
humbling. It's so humbling.
It is. It's hard, but it's
and
real.
then you have the sweet little, 8-year-old going, I forgive you. You're like,
It's true. I'm so sorry. Yeah.
I'm really horrible.
I know. I'll
so
do better
forgiving.
tomorrow. I promise. Yeah, 100%. So what have been some date ideas or some connection and bonding that you and Clay have done through this time? Because I mean, I know you have an older daughter back at home who can help, which definitely gives you some freedom.
So nice.
Which is another point for big families there, Nate Heitzig.
Right.
Because with those 2 kids, that's not happening.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's so true. So true. So get out there and adopt those 17-year-olds.
Yep. Amen. Amen. They need the love.
That's right.
Yeah.
They need the love, and you need a sitter. For us, it's funny, when the kids go to bed, it's our time. We have a pretty, we try to stick to a pretty solid bedtime. Clay's really cute because he's precious. We'll school in the kitchen, and he's waiting for the kids to finish school so he can play. And generally what delays the kids' bedtime is Clay wants to watch a show with them. He's like, I want to show them this, So once they're in bed, generally anywhere between 8 and 9, we will sit down and just chat. We'll talk. And for me, that's food for my soul.
That's like the connection.
Yeah. If I can talk and he can listen and he knows not to try and fix it.
She should hear that. If she can talk and he can listen. Michelle's definitely the talker. I feel like,
I don't know, we're both talkers. Like this morning, I literally was like, you can come in the bathroom while I get ready. Listen to me talk.
While I talk at you. Okay, good.
But it's so necessary because there is such a busyness when you're home together.
Yeah.
He's trying to do one thing, or he's like, I'll cook. He's a much better cook than I am.
That's how my husband is.
Really?
Yeah. I feel like we married very similar
I know,
men
it
a
sounds
lot
like
in
it.
the
We need
energy.
double date.
Yeah.
When this is over. We're going to do like 20 years of when this is over by the time this is over.
List of things, what we'll do.
That's right. But yeah, that's what we've been doing. What I've been doing also with the kids involved is we'll do cute little candlelight dinners and special dinners once in a while. Although after you do it the first time, they think it's every night you're going to do that.
Yeah. Pull out the fancy china and all the stuff.
We did. And now I'm like, oh, no. It's cereal tonight.
I'm sorry, you're mistaken.
No, we ate too much today. It's got to be cereal tonight, or
totally
pop in waffles, whatever.
I love that you said that too. I want to kind of circle back that you said that bedtime really is 8 and 9. I've had a lot of other mom friends that are texting me like, and I think it's probably the older kids, like the teens, preteens, like, my kid's mad at me that because I'm making them go to bed or they have a bedtime. This is their break. I'm ruining their free time because they don't think of this as like regular. But having that regular schedule, like you touched on a flexible schedule, but also having that regular bedtime, not just for your kids so they're getting their sleep so that they're not cranky, so that we're ready for those Zoom calls at 8 a.m. that these teachers are setting up, but also so you can have that connection with your spouse, putting the kids and still maintaining that kind of that boundary so you can have that level of intimacy.
That's right. And so that you're a decent parent. I think, and for my kids, we still do a designated quiet time also. In the middle of the day, I'll say, hey guys, everyone, go to your rooms. You can get a book. You can play quietly. We don't do Legos anymore because they were throwing them at each other. And it ended up not being quiet. So we were like, no more Legos. And it's so funny because the kids that give the hardest time about taking a nap are asleep. And the kids that don't mind doing it are in their beds reading.
It's like, the hyperactive kids that expend so much energy during the day that need that like downtime.
That's right. So we'll do anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour and a half. It just really depends on the day. But the evenings we start about 35 minutes, maybe 45 minutes before bedtime, and I'll just say, hey guys, I just need you guys to start getting ready for bed. Get your teeth brushed, pajamas, get all your stuff picked up, and we're just going to start. So they do, and everybody meets in the same place, and we pray and send them off. And, hey, if you want to read, go for it.
Yeah.
But y'all are in bed.
That's good.
Mom and Dad need to reconnect and kind of go over things that are happening in the day, whether it be with ministry or with home life. Mm-hmm. And then I also went back to school, so I'm taking some classes online. So I'm taking some classes online, so I do that also.
No one in the history of time can ever say they don't have time for anything, because she's literally doing it all, but giving us a practical way to kind of approach it and like realistic. She's super mom, but she's also real and human and loses her temper with her children and
all the time
gets by. Yeah.
And the kids know. They're like, oh, Mom's using that Glinda the Good Witch voice. You better look out because it's about to go down. Because it's truly, that's the cue. That's where I always go to first. I'm like, excuse me, what did you just say? They're like,
it's actually
she's being really nice. We're gonna go.
That's great.
It's true. It's like, I think it's what matters. You do.
And a story.
That's it.
Yep. So what does self-care look like for you specifically during this time? Well, what did it look like previously and what does it look like now?
Previously, are you kidding? Like every 6 weeks, my hair,
Yeah. What does COVID self-care
That's right.
look like?
That's right. I don't know. I like, believe it or not, I like to be alone. I do. I like to just be alone. I like to read. Sometimes I'll just, lock myself in the room and read or just be.
I don't think that sounds weird. First of all, from a mother with lots of children, alone time is a commodity that doesn't come by very often,
right?
In our house, at least.
Yeah. So for me, it literally can be an extended shower, where I'm in the shower, and I love your, shower coffee. I love that.
Take that coffee in the shower. It makes it that much better,
right?
Because when do you get to drink a hot cup of coffee? Yep.
After it's microwaved 8 times.
Exactly.
I'm like, it doesn't even taste like coffee anymore.
Like, I'm growing a third ear because I microwave my coffee so much.
It's so true. All the moms are going to have third ears.
Well, we're shortly getting out of time here, but I have some rapid fire questions for you, so I'm just going to throw them at you.
Okay.
First of all, how many times do you unload the dishwasher a day?
Our dishwasher has been broken for 3 years.
Oh man, but you've got a lot of little people to do the dishes.
They wash dishes.
Okay, all right. So that's a lot of dishes, though.
That's a lot of dishes.
Do you do paper plates?
Once in a while.
It's not eco-friendly, but it's like survival mode up here.
It is, and it really depends on the meal.
Okay, all right. Well, I think you just kind of answered it, but where do you fit housekeeping and chores around homeschooling?
All of my kids, they, like my 2 older kids that are home, or 3 older kids that are home, they do their own laundry. Everyone's responsible for their bedrooms, their beds, all of that. As far as common areas, we all pitch in.
Okay.
For me, as far as, I'm funny about the floor, I'm going to confess. Sweeping and mopping the floor, I only do it because
you want it done right.
I want it done right. And then I have little grandbabies that are crawling around the floor, and I want to make sure
that makes sense.
clean.
And I think everybody has their thing that they just really want
thing.
Done. Yeah.
And I think it might be a little healing. It's like accomplishment.
Well, you're wiping the previous day off the floor. Yeah.
Yes.
100%. Well, what do you miss most about post-quarantine days? Like one thing.
Probably date nights. Being able to go out with Clay just to get out of the house and, be.
Yeah.
Go to dinner, sit and chat, go to a movie.
Oh, a movie theater.
A movie sounds good.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, we rented. Did you guys watch this together? I Still Believe.
We haven't yet.
We did, and it was so good. Not a dry eye in the house. My husband, first of all, is the first one who'll cry, but everybody was crying. It was really touching, and it's neat because it has a lot of connection, actually, kind of back here to Albuquerque.
Oh wow!
Yeah, with some of the Cry members that used to be here. Yeah, so really interesting. Highly recommend for a family movie night.
That'll be good.
Yeah. Describe yourself in 3 words.
3 words.
Yeah, just shoot them out.
Shoot them out. Talkative, reflective, dreamer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Amen, sister.
Come on.
All right. No, elbows. There we go. How often do you call your kids by the wrong name?
Are you serious? In a day?
You've got a lot of S's too.
I do. All my girls are S's. There's 6 girls. And I call the kids that are in the house by the names of the kids that aren't in the house.
Oh, yeah.
So, or the dog.
I call my kids the names of my brothers and sisters that I kind of raised. And so I'm always like, wait a minute, they don't even live here. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. I couldn't even tell you. It's too many. Too many.
And then last, I'm just going to give you the microphone on this one, but what message do you have for moms out there that are just kind of struggling to keep it together? Maybe a single mom that's just like trying to work from home and hold it down and doesn't feel like she's doing enough, or...
I personally, for me, I really think you need to take it easy on yourself. If you want to see change, you start with one thing. You truly start with one thing. You draw a circle around yourself and you say, what am I going to do different? Maybe you need to make a decision for yourself and drink more water. I know a lot of times we're pumping ourselves full of coffee or whatever, and just drink some more water. The headache will be gone. You'll feel better. Your skin will be better. Just pick one thing and focus on that one thing and then move on to the next. Don't try to do everything. What do you say? You always say, you can do anything.
I can do anything, but I can't do everything.
Right.
Yep.
And I feel that way. I feel the same way. And I have an amazing husband that helps. Literally, there is nothing that my husband is like, oh no, I don't do that. He did diapers, he did feedings, everything. So I had an amazing husband. I was raised by a single mother, and my mom was out of this world amazing. But as a parent, we can't do everything. We can't. And once we come to that place of just give yourself some grace.
Yep.
Allow yourself to make mistakes, learn from it, but admit that you've made the mistake, because I think sometimes we kind of sweep it into the rug.
As moms especially, trying to be perfect.
That's right.
Yeah.
And we don't want to admit it. So be honest. Yeah.
Such good encouragement.
Yeah.
Thank you. Well, we are out of time. This was so much fun. Thank you for joining us today on Family Talk. I hope you guys have a wonderful Monday. I'm just praying for all these moms out there and these dads and these parents in these homes, trying to hold it together for your families. But we're so thankful that you hopped on, maybe grabbed a cup of coffee or tea. Don't forget to join me next week. I have a special surprise. My husband will be joining me for Family Talk, which should be a wild time.
I can't wait.
So thank you and happy Monday.